This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
You're listening to INC Radio.
Broadcasting live from Chicago, Illinois. DZEM 954 AM station. Here to bring you great conversations about faith, people, places, culture, and recent events all around the district. Join us on YouTube at incradio.org. Hello, Northern Midwest and the rest of the world. It's time to get this show started.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another broadcast of INC Radio Northern Midwest. I am Tony Rose Valenzuela, broadcasting from Sterling Heights, Michigan. So excited to be here with all of you today. And if you didn't catch it, our topic, we're talking about bowling. I'm not the best bowler, so I'll be learning with you, alongside with you today for our topic. And I have my fellow co-host with me over there in Rockford. Let's say hi. What's up?
Yes. Hello, hello, everyone. Brother Elson Jungle Chris Live here from Rockford, Illinois, here in the district of Great Lakes. And I'm also excited to talk about bowling.
Yes, learn today because we have someone who he's not a pro, not a pro. He does have some
Yeah, some background, some background into the sport, also known as bowling. So, yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So, actually, this first question I think applies to just any one of us here in the panel. Do you guys remember the first time that you bowled? For yeah, go ahead.
It's kind of an embarrassing story, but it was a field trip in preschool. I went with my mom. So our class went to a local bowling alley for a field trip, and I remember dropping the ball on my foot, and I cried, and I did not want to bowl after that. But look now, 20 plus years later. So not the best first experience, but I mean, you learn from you learn from that. You learn to be more careful at the next time. So yeah.
I won't fault you for that because like you said, you were in preschool when that happened. Like for me, I didn't experience like bowling until we got here in the United States. I think I was already 15 when I first moved, and it's an exhilarating feeling to try out a new sport that I haven't tried out yet. But how would you both rate yourself as like a bowler? Like, but let's give it a range between 1 to 10. Like, how would you rate yourself as a bowler?
If I were to compare it to like the possible score, then I'd probably be like right in the middle, 5 6. If to be honest, I mean,
that's good
I know the
honesty.
basics. I know the basics. You walk up to the lane, swing with your approach, and aim. That's pretty much it. I don't know about you guys.
See, if you're 5 or 6, then I guess I'm like 3 or 4.
Oh
'Cause
no,
no, I miss a lot when I know when
no.
bowling. But how about you, Tony? How would you rate yourself in bowling?
About the same. I haven't had a lot of experience in bowling. I've done it multiple times, but not not in a way in the sense that I would call myself good just because I've done it multiple times. But my score, I'll give myself that I'm consistent in my score being less than 100. Usually less than 100 with my score, like around probably 90 or 80, something like that. My aim is not the best, so yeah, I could definitely use some tips from our brother Abe today. For you, Kuya, like I know you said that being able to, get past that first time, right? That you were kind of
Mhm.
traumatized by dropping the ball on your foot. How often did you practice to be able to improve your bowling skill?
I think what's helped me, one, I know yearly, right? We have bowling activities within the church, so being prepared for that has helped. I've also just been surrounded by family who are good at bowling. In recent years, right? My brother-in-law is really into bowling, and then he got my sister more involved into bowling. And you'll see them winning a lot. I say seeing them winning a lot, but no, seeing them practice. I don't go with them as often as I should, but
Mhm.
just constantly. I mean, it's like with all sports, constantly going to the alley and practicing. That's how over time I feel I've been able to get slightly better, slightly better. I can't bowl like they do. Um, like they each have their own specific technique on how to bowl, and I don't bowl like either of them. So it is partially learning on my own, but they're
Actually,
always there to
Justin
advice.
said when like I think this is like his way of bowling. He said when you bowl, you don't aim at the pins. Instead, aim for the space between the 1 and 3 pin or the 2 and 4 pin. That's considered the
Right.
pocket. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so basically, if you look at the scheme of the bowling pins, right, there's 10 pins. The number one is considered the one that's up most in front, right? And then you go left to right, front to back. So the next row on the left side is number two. So the one all the way in the back is number seven. The one all the way on the back right is number 10. So that's how you can help consider what is one and three. So there is like the little gap between
Mhm.
that's what is called the pocket, and that is because there's something called action with the pins, right? Because of course when you hit the pin it's going to um hit the other ones. And if I would say for his advice though, because his technique is hooking the ball, so like the shape of a hook, right? It'll curve. um so that's why it'll fit into that space between the 1 and 3 pins, and that will create the most action with his technique, so that it'll knock down the rest of the pins. Whereas for me, I'd have less of a chance of getting a strike or hitting all 10 pins on the first half of the frame, because I bowl more straightforward than he does. So it's all about like the action and the technique.
What I'm getting is like there's not really like one expert way
Mm.
to bowl. No.
Yeah, there's so many ways. Like I just mentioned, I bowl straightforward. He bowls more of a hook to the right. My sisters will kind of go left first and then hook back toward the right. So it's kind of the opposite of what my brother-in-law does. Each person has their own different style, which is why another piece of advice that I would like to suggest for those who want to bowl more seriously is to purchase your own bowling ball and pair of bowling shoes. Um, like with like your favorite pair of shoes at home, right? Well, you'll get used to, you have to break them in a little bit, and
Yeah.
then after a while you'll realize they just fit
Mhm.
perfectly. That's the same thing with the bowling shoes and the bowling ball. Over time you'll get used to how it feels. It is about familiarity, um, right? Because at different bowling alleys they'll have different bowling balls that won't fit your hand as
Mhm.
great as they should. Like the holes may be too big or small. The spacing between your hand, like the fingers in your hand, might not be right. Like I have small hands, and then there's some like at the bowling alley whose fingers are like that big apart, and you can't hold it right.
The heavier ones, but then you
Most
can't
likely,
use the lighter ones.
right? I mean, yeah, like for the heavier ones, right? They are for the those who can lift more traditionally, but Yeah, I'd say get your own ball and shoes. And luckily at bowling alleys there are those who own pro shops, most likely within the bowling alley itself, who you can talk to receive advice, because they'll know about different bowling ball styles. Like bowling balls are made of different materials. They'll have different sets of weight within the ball. So right, a bowling ball isn't just hollow, as you may think like a traditional one might be, but there'll be different weights in there also to help with like that curvature, and with the hook that I mentioned earlier. So they'll know what kind of ball will suit you best based on your bowling approach.
I would
I have
say,
a question
Oh,
actually for anyone also in Team Live Chat, but for you, Abe, like, is there any specific tip that you got from someone that helped improve your bowling technique?
mm, so yes. So Elson kind of mentioned it earlier. That the way to aim for a specific spot is to not look at the pins themselves. You can use on the lane the arrows that are on there as a way for you to guide you. There's also a term called boards to help with your spacing or your step left or right. Because also, right, you don't need to stand exact center of the lane. You may need to step to the left or step to the right based on how you throw. Um, so I would say, yeah, don't look at the pins when you're bowling. Focus on what's closer to you, right? Because if you're trying to aim for a spot that's closer to you, you're most likely to um, hit that mark, as opposed to trying to hit a mark that's farther away. So.
What about you, EJ? Is there anything that you've done that's that's helped you at all in terms of your bowling? Because for me, I'm I what did I just notice about myself is that when I am not as tense and I just let the ball go and try to not be as tense, I do a little bit better. I don't know if there's something that you notice in your technique when you're
I
bowling.
noticed that I try to hook. I try to like hook it, but that's how I ended up. That's how I end up with a lot of gutter balls because I keep like trying to like make it like hook. Make it like what's the right term to it? Make like swerve like
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
towards the center. But I still haven't. I know I still haven't mastered it. I don't get a lot of opportunities to bowl, but like every time I do, I always try to do that, but hopefully that practice like pays off. That
Yeah.
practice pays off someday.
What I like about bowling, I will say, even though a lot of us aren't experts at it, it's a great way to bond with family, right?
Yes.
I know that it's a very friendly sport to for everyone to be able to kind of gather together. You know, you eat pizza while you're bowling, and
Mm.
it's a good all around activity to kind of bring everybody together and then stay in shape a little bit, right? You work out your
Mhm.
work out your arm and your leg, and it's a nice way to kind of just bond with one another. So even if you're not experts, for those who are listening to us today, just try it, right? Just try it and put yourself out there. You never know. You might become pro one day, right,
Yeah.
EJ?
Yes, and actually, speaking of speaking of a fun family activity, we had a couple of recent activities here in the districts of Great Lakes and of course in Northern Plains. And actually, before that, we want to greet the locales of Cincinnati and Lake County for their anniversary. And as for our recent activities, the CSD or the Christian Society for the Deaf had a sign language seminar, which is about the rooms in the house. So they taught us about how to sign the different rooms inside a house. That was last Sunday, and CWS also had their activity, which is an arts and crafts activity. And for our ongoing or upcoming, I should say, upcoming activities. Tomorrow at the local congregation of Chicago, there will be a baptism. So if you're in the area, please show your support in that activity, as well as our regional unity games. That'll be on Monday, so the day after, and the day after that. It'll be for the region of Lake County at May 27 or on Monday, and at the same day, also May 27, is the musical EVM for the district of Northern Plains. So a lot of fun activities upcoming in both districts. Actually, we mentioned the CSD earlier, so this is actually one of their segments that you might have like seen us do. So since we're talking about bowling, that is what they'll be teaching us in our this is your sign or your sign of the week.
This is your son.
We all love to participate in the sport, whether it be basketball, soccer, volleyball, the list goes on. But there are even activities that we hold for the church that involve these type of physical activities, whether it be in unity games or even at a district or local level. Sometimes in these activities, it's not just those sports that we like to hold, but even sometimes we love to play bowling, whether it be for fun or even a competitive league. So we thought for today, we signed the word bowling. It's actually really simple, brothers and sisters. What you'll be doing is that by taking your dominant hand, you're gonna aim it low, just like this, like you're about to start bowling, right? And then what you'll be doing is that you'll swing your arm up as well as your hand, sort of like you're releasing the ball. And that's how you sign the word bowling, brothers and sisters. So now you know, you could go ahead and show off to your fellow brothers and sisters in faith on how to sign the word bowling, as well as the next time you participate in a bowling activity, you can all learn and show everyone how to sign the word bowling. Thank you for joining us in our sign of the week, and we hope to see you next time in our next sign of the week. Thank you, brothers and sisters.
This is your son.
Very, very cool. That's always my favorite segment. Personally, I always love learning the different stuff from our Christian Society for the Differently Abled or for the Deaf. Thank you for sharing that with us. That was Brother Ivan from Bloomingdale. And of course, last but not least, we do have our winners from last week. We want to reveal the local congregations who topped the different places as well as the individual winners. So we don't have the visual today, so I don't know if EJ will do the you can do
Yes,
the song.
yes, I can do that. And actually, for now, for fourth place, we included the fourth place. The local congregation that won fourth place is Chicago North, and for the individual winner, that will be France May Gorospe from Sterling Heights.
Woo!
And in third
Yay!
place is the local congregation of Sterling Heights with
Woo!
Cecilia Soriano. With Cecilia Soriano from Chicago North winning the individual third place. And in second place is the local congregation of Kansas City from Northern Plains, and Rachel Lynn Weiser winning the individual second place. She's from Bloomingdale, by the way. And in first place, the first place locale winner is Bloomingdale. And this is kind of like an inverse of the second places because Edwin Short from Kansas City won the first place for our hashtag challenge last week. So congratulations not only to the winners but everyone who continues to participate. Please continue to share your locale's hashtag, and we're already seeing a whole lot of them in our live chat. So we'll see who wins next week's hashtag challenge.
Very nice. No, earlier I was gonna ask you if you can do the music, the intro music, like
Oh. Oh, that's what you meant.
yeah, that's okay. But it's like it's a great. I just want to. I'm promoting a little bit the iglesianicristo original music because that's one of them. But thank you to everyone who's been there, commenting away in Team Live Chat. Can we just say hi to some of them? Let's say hi to Sister Rachel Lynn Weiser over there, as well as Sister Melissa Allen. Greetings from Lake County. We also have Sister Priscilla Batan, who's tuning in from Rizal East. And then Sister Alali Romero, familiar last name. And that's our brother Abe's mom there. And brother Fred, who's tuning in from Chicago North. If I'm, my mom also is there in Team Live Chat. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to everyone who supported for today. Even if you're watching from the replay, of course, we can't end the show without thanking the following people: to our Assistant District Minister, Brother Arthur P. Agag, to our District Minister, Brother Ermin Tibin Show here in the District of Great Lakes, and from the District of Northern Plains is Brother Almer Parungao, the Northern Plains District Minister, and of course to our Subsidy President CFO Coordinator, Brother Angelo Rania V. Manalo, and to our Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. We'll see everyone same time next week. Go out there and be phenomenal. Bye, everyone. Go out and bowl. Go out and bowl. Bowling. We should go bowling.